Hi, welcome again to the Explaining History YouTube channel. Now, sometimes in history questions and answers, particularly with some of the exam boards at the moment, understanding the author's impression is really significant. So when we are being asked to do that, what does that actually mean? Is it understanding the author's intention? Possibly. There are, it's possible to, in some sources, to see the author's intention, but really understanding what the author's impression is what their view at a given historical moment of a given historical topic or matter actually was. So it's understanding whether we know what their intention is or not. It's understanding what their view is. Now, how do most authors communicate their views to us? Obviously, they use language, and it's the language that we need to pick apart. So by looking at key adjectives, describing words, and bits of emotive language, where the author is trying to really impress upon the reader precisely what they think. That's your clues. So a lot of students that I know give away marks constantly by not including extracts from or excerpts from the extract in their answers. So if you're doing this, if you write down a simple one-liner about what you think the author's getting at, you're leaving 3-4 marks on the table out of a standard 6-mark answer. However, if you use the extract and say, well, the author is trying to convey their anger, their fear, their happiness, their uncertainty about, Hitler, Martin Luther King, Gandhi, you name it. And I know that they are doing that because here I have the evidence to show from this extract. They say these specific words. What you're doing is you're presenting knowledge, you're presenting detail, and you're drawing an inference from that. And that's one of the key ingredients of higher marks when you're doing one of these kinds of questions. Okay, and then what you can do as well to cap it off is indicate what the person might have left out of the extract. So say, for example, we are looking at an extract by Winston Churchill talking about India. Winston Churchill is there in 1943 in Bengal, decrying the Indians and saying all sorts of terrible things about them, as he famously did. You might want to add that Winston Churchill omits to mention the Bengal famine, which is happening at the time, and thus skews the entire source and becomes highly misleading, and that the source is a way of directing the reader to a particular conclusion, one that would obviously be favourable to Winston Churchill. So that's where you can take it to get your highest marks. You can talk about how the source is directing the reader to particular conclusions by including certain information, excluding other information, and using particular kinds of emotive language, which you can quote and present as being part of the answer. You can take it from the source, put it in the answer, and that should really guide you towards your uppermost marks. Now, if you found this useful, remember to subscribe to this channel, and there'll be more of this sort of stuff throughout the year as we get closer and closer to the exams. Thanks very much for listening, and I'll catch you all later. All the best. Bye-bye.